It's the final SmackDown AfterBuzz of the decade! And we're going to talk about some wrestling stuff. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What is up, everybody? We are live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. Like and subscribe and telling your friends and your foes about the world of AfterBuzz TV as we break down this week's Friday Night SmackDown, and it's our final AfterBuzz SmackDown of the year, of the decade. We're going to be off for a few weeks after this for the holidays, but we're going to have some fun tonight. What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Tariff. Hanging out with me on the other side of the desk, she is Miss Gabby Loren.
Hey, guys. I am back and in action this week again, and I'm so sad that the year is about to be over.
It's almost over. We're so close to the end of the decade. The teens are done.
Did you feel like you had a good year for 2019?
It was a whirlwind, honestly. Mm-hmm. There are some very positive things, some things that definitely felt like I was super kicked in the face a few times. But overall, I feel like I'm standing tall and using the momentum into 2020. Mm-hmm. Just like you traveling the world, being an Impact star. Yeah,
I mean, this was an amazing year. I think it started off a little rough, and then I would say like July, August to now has been incredible. And I just can only hope that 2020 matches what these last few months have been like, you know? Because I feel like it's on a good upward hill.
And our other co-host is not here tonight, Tom Connolly.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pretty eventful year, having twins and all.
He had brought babies into the world, so that's obviously a huge step, becoming a first-time father.
Yeah. And he's currently on his way back from his first family vacation. They went to Vegas because it's never too early to start teaching your kids how to gamble.
That's okay.
4 or 5 months old, that sounds about right.
It's actually a pretty big thing to go to Vegas during Christmas and the holidays.
Yeah.
Here, for LA people. A lot of LAers like to go to Vegas for that.
Yeah, so Tom will be back next year. Because that'll be the next show that we have. And for those OG fans of ours, you know, normally our last AfterBuzz of the year, we like to do a whole gift exchange and have fun with it. But since Tom's not here, we're going to hold off on that because that would be weird if we did this without Tom. So that all fun stuff. So even though the holidays would have passed when we come back in January, we're still going to be in the season of giving.
We can celebrate the new year.
Yes, we can. And we're going to celebrate this episode of SmackDown as best as we can because this was supposed to be the go-home episode before the TLC pay-per-view. And not a whole lot happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very uneventful SmackDown,
to
say the least.
It was okay. I would say the ending was good and exciting. I liked the last match of the evening and how it ended with Roman Reigns. But other than that, it wasn't anything super special. Also, we saw a few segments from Firefly Funhouse.
We did.
So that was nice.
Yes.
2 of my highlights, Roman Reigns, Firefly Funhouse.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's break it all down. And we also just want to let our live viewers know that towards the end of the show, time permitting, because it's our last one of the year, we're going to try to open up some phone lines.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because we want to find out from you who you felt was the SmackDown Superstar of the Year, or if you had a specific SmackDown match or moment of the year. We want your opinions on that. So jot down the phone number now. The phone lines aren't open yet. We'll let you know when they get ready to get open. But the number will be 424-354-8302. Again, 424-354-8302. We're going to want to hear from you guys to close the show, time permitting. So we're just going to get right into the show so we can try to have more time for people to call on in.
And question before we get into it, for our viewers out there, can you let them know what date we'll actually be back in the studio in January?
I believe it's the first Sunday, which I think was the 5th.
Okay.
Boom.
So it will be the 5th of January, you guys. I will be here because I noticed somebody in the chat said that I'll be gone, but I'll actually be gone the week after.
How do they know your schedule?
Because they're already on the pay-per-view schedule, I guess. You guys are too good. You probably know my schedule before I get my schedule. But, yeah, so I won't be here the week after, but I'll be here the first week.
You'll be on the
5th,
but not the 12th.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Or the 11th. Isn't it the 11th of Sunday? No. The 11th of Saturday.
11th will be the Saturday.
Okay, yeah, so I probably won't be here the 12th because I'll be flying back. It just depends on timing.
Because she's crushing it on Impact.
Yep, I try. And if you are one of the people that watch Impact and also reach out to me on Twitter, I want to thank you guys because you're awesome.
There it is.
You've contributed to making my 2019 amazing. Just saying.
Well, you know who else had a very good 2019? King Corbin.
Oh, yeah. He became a king.
Baron Corbin. He now has the word king at the start of his name. And he's out in the ring with Ziggler, starting off the show, bragging about what they did to Roman last week. I was not here last week, but I'm so intrigued as to what you and Tom felt like when you watched Roman Reigns get covered in dog food.
What I thought about it?
Well, yeah. I know, quick recap of that, because I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, of course. I think it's obviously a disrespectful act that someone would pour dog food on somebody else. But at the same time, it makes sense. The big dog, right? It's part of his character. But then they also, we'll get into it, but that was almost about to reenact itself tonight. I think whatever way WWE wants to make things exciting, okay, great on them. I think they could have done something better than maybe throw dog food on somebody. It was very dramatic and very gross at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm sure from the first row, it didn't smell good.
Oh, no. I felt really bad for the people sitting ringside that one.
No, that's like the first time you don't want to sit ringside.
No, that's the only time.
In that corner. Only time.
So yeah, Corbin and Ziggler are bragging about what they did last week, and they all want everyone to hail King Corbin. They're interrupted by the New Day, and Kofi's telling Corbin that you're not a real king, and what you did to Roman was disrespectful. And Corbin talks about how I'm going to embarrass you like Reigns, and then they leave. There was no fight. There was no additional interruption. He just left, and the conversation ended. It was so unusual.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit weird when there's no follow-up right away.
Yeah.
So, but I find it that WWE loves to involve Baron Corbin no matter what. Even if his part is minute, they like to put him in there, in the mix. He's always getting good storylines. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Like, he's always in the mix. Even when you don't want to see Baron Corbin, he's there.
Because he's arguably the top heel in the company.
Do you enjoy him as a heel?
Well, I certainly enjoy him more as a heel than I would as a babyface.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a type of guy that you know you want to hate and you should hate. And what nobody really talks about is whether you like him or not. A lot of his matches are good. Like he works really well. Like there are certain guys that he works really well. His matches with Shorty G were great. His matches with AJ Styles are amazing. His matches that we've seen with Roman have been very good. He can hold his own, and that's the part that everyone forgets about because they feel they're so annoyed at him.
Yeah, I guess that I would have been guilty of that because I get very annoyed with him. But I guess that also means you're doing your job when you're annoyed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've had many of those moments. Plus, I feel like I've seen matches by him that I've not liked so much.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
don't
that's
know.
fair.
50-50. I think some nights he has good nights, some nights I'm, like, not sure about Baron Corbin.
And he does have one of my favorite finishers. The End of Days I love. And I don't recall the last time anyone's actually kicked out of it. They've actually protected that move very well. First match of the night is Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Tag team action. This was very quick.
Very.
So quick that the camera did not catch Nikki Cross hitting her finishing move on Sonya Deville. And all of a sudden, we start hearing her count, and the camera pans back to the ring, and Nikki Cross pins Sonya Deville. Then we see it in the replay, and that was that. They're like, this happened. There's really nothing to talk about. It was quick. They won. End of story. Nothing else happened.
Right. So, moving on?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Mustafa, we go right into another tag team match. Yeah. Extra Teddy Long action. Mustafa Ali and Shorty G versus the Revival. And we have to spend a moment to talk about the fall of Dash Wilder. I want to say the fall of Dash Wilder. I mean him tripping over the stage. And the main reason we need to talk about it, obviously, yeah, we'd of course probably bring it up because it was funny and he was laughing about it. Here is the one issue. This was the last SmackDown before the last pay-per-view of the decade.
That's true. Of the decade.
And the only thing that social media was talking about from this episode was Dash Wilder's fall on his entrance.
That is not a good sign.
No, it's not. It's funny. It was a funny moment. He laughed it off. Mm-hmm. But that should not be what everyone's talking about heading into a pay-per-view.
No, it shouldn't. It should be the highlight of a show.
Yeah.
Let alone that.
I mean, I get it. He's going to have a clip on Botchamania, and that's going to be hilarious. And they'll probably do little other memes associated with it. Fine. And everyone tweeted about it, and it was hilarious. I get it. But that's all everyone talked about. And they shouldn't. It was the fall of Wilder. Hashtag fall of Dash. Or that, I don't know. I can't come up with those that creatively. But that's what the big conversation was tonight. Or this weekend. And shame on you.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I think that this match was pretty good. There's a lot of good energy in there. These guys...
the match was fine.
Yeah, the match was good. They have... I think these teams working together and against each other are actually a good fit. Although I do prefer, obviously, Ali and Shorty G's team. To be honest, obviously Ali is.
Are you happy with them being a tag team the last few weeks?
Those two, it's all right. I think I'm still trying to get over the Shorty G name.
I'm never going to get over that.
That's still tripping me up, but
I just don't like the fact that you started hyping these two up, and we've seen this in the past where all of a sudden you're starting building some people. And then there's a wall, because you're like, I don't know who they should feud with. Mm-hmm. So let them be friends and team up for a while. And we'll make up a tag team for a few months.
And you feel like it just is thrown together?
It's thrown together, and I think it's really, really made, started a decline on their hype. I mean, crowd's still cheering for them. They're still doing great.
Yeah.
But they were cheering for them because they were pulling off big victories or coming so close to these big singles victories.
Yeah. I guess I'm just hoping for the best, because sometimes when you throw something together, either maybe WWE writers and creative have a vision for the future, and so we're not seeing that right away. I feel like New Day was kind of that way too when they put that tag team together. I don't know if they expected it to go where it went and how successful it would become.
Oh, they had no idea it was going to be as successful as it ended up being.
Right, so I feel like there's always a potential for a tag team to grow. Mm-hmm. As a group and a team in general. So, I mean, hopefully we see that. Hopefully we're not bummed out. Hopefully WWE doesn't take away storylines, put them in the shadows, and we don't see them on television for a few weeks. I want to see them rise to the occasion and do better.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll wait and see. There was a really cool sequence where Shorty G hit his Chaos Theory German suplex, where then Dash Wilder hit a top rope splash on him, which then resulted in the 450 splash by Ali. Towards the end of the match, Ali hops off the second rope into a shatter machine, and Revival get the win. I did skip over one thing. There was a little segment in the backstage with Sami Zayn running into heavy machinery because Otis picked Sami as his Secret Santa. And if you're getting a gift from Otis or Tucker, you better be hungry. And you better like meat. And you better like meat, apparently. Because he got him a big old ham. And Sammy's a vegan. Sami was insulted.
Maybe they should have did their research before they offered Sami some
Otis
meat.
was sorry. He said he was sorry.
Yeah, actually, it felt really bad for Otis. He was actually being very genuine in that moment.
Yeah, he felt bad.
I did feel bad for him.
It was so random. But then I like that they continued the Secret Santa theme into the next segment where we have a interview with Bayley. And she's talking about Lacey Evans, former Marine and mom, and to some people that's impressive, but this title speaks to itself. And before we get to Secret Santa, though, I need to mention Josh, our wonderful engineer in the booth. I feel like we need to come up with some little jingle, because more and more often we're having a segment of the show called, what do we call them? They listen. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden, what's happening with Lacey Evans? They're turning her face because of her military background, and she's a mother.
How often?
And we talked about that for months on this show.
Called it directly for months on end.
I feel like we always call things for months on end.
That's
and
why
then
we
it
need
eventually gets adopted.
That's why we need a jingle on the show called "They Listen."
Well, we also have a few AfterBuzzers at WWE at this point. Maybe they're listening and taking our ideas.
They listen. They listen.
They're like, oh, actually, I thought of this. This might be good.
Yeah. Oh, trust me.
That bug, it came from here, this room.
There have been plenty.
Yeah.
Brazongo, you're welcome.
Brazongo, yeah.
So anyway, though, she's talking about Lacey, and then all of a sudden we hear Elias's guitar. She turns and we see that Elias and Dana Brooke are to the side, and Elias mentions that, Bayley, you're my Secret Santa, so I thought I would give you a song. He starts playing a song.
I love his songs now. They're getting so much better. Don't you think?
Did you really love this one, though?
I'm saying, like, they're more interesting to listen to. They're not necessarily nice or appreciated by most wrestlers, but they're more interesting. They're more exciting and enthusiastic than he used to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That's my opinion. You guys let us know what you think.
Well, his song tonight was about turning down a three-way between Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah.
And said that when Bayley cut her hair, she now looks like a dude. Well, Women's Evolution, everybody. Women's Evolution. Every time they take all these steps forward and do such great things in the women's division, then something like this comes out. They're just like, oh, that's funny. They won't mind.
Hard subject.
Yeah, I know. But
I mean, I'm glad she cut her hair. I think it looks better.
I think she looks hotter now, personally, if we're talking about looks. But
she's more edgy, but I mean, whatever. He's just trying. You know what this is like when you always hear that kindergarten love thing where when you're younger, your way of flirting is by insulting or hurting the other person. Like the kids do that.
So you're hoping that Elias is flirting like a kindergartner.
Maybe there's going to be some love story that springs up out of this because he's being so insulting to Bayley, but really it's his like kindergarten playground talk where he's really actually into her. Maybe he's actually feeling the new look.
Okay.
Could be a good storyline.
That would be an interesting twist that I wouldn't object to. But what happened with this one is all of a sudden Dana Brooke's laughing at the song, as just about all of us were, and Bayley gets angry and challenges Dana to a match, which then goes right into the ring of Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke getting a one-on-one match against the women's champion, and she looked good. I talked about it on here several weeks ago. She is vastly improved.
Oh, I felt the same way. I was like, I'm becoming a fan of Dana Brooke now. She has definitely improved. She's put in the work. With everything, not just like in the ring with her moves and technique, which is a huge part of this, but I feel like even her look, her character, everything is just tightening up.
She did her best rendition of a Batista bomb, which Batista on Twitter approved of, because that weird romance is continuing. But eventually, Bayley gets to win with... Now, I think this is the first time that I've been on the show since she's had this new finisher, which I love. It's so much better than her doing a belly-to-belly suplex. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like a mix. If you were to mix the Mrs. Skull Crushing finale and the Famouser, that's kind of like what her finish turned into. Because it was like a inverted Russian leg sweep, but her knee was higher up with it. So I like it. I don't know what the name of it is, but I liked it a lot.
It kind of looks like what it could be. I don't know if you guys remember MVP's finisher. It kind of looks like a modified version of the Overdrive to me.
A little bit. The one difference with the Overdrive was the leg was over the head. Where like you did an arm ringer,
shoulder, right?
Yeah, arm ringer, and well, this one it's over the arm, but yeah, I mean it is kind of a variation of that as well. I don't know what she's calling it, but I liked it. It looked, and Dana took it really, really well.
Yeah.
So I approve of that move.
I appreciate it too.
And then we had a vignette because Sheamus, coming soon, is coming back to SmackDown with his old haircut. the mohawk is gone. And he looks the same as he did in 2008.
Wow, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
I mean, good for him
Yeah.
to do that. I don't look like how I looked in 2008, that's for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what was he doing?
Yeah. I don't know, but are we excited for a return of a Sheamus singles run?
I like
Wow,
him with Cesaro.
that was a big sigh heading to that question.
Yeah, because, I don't know, maybe I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of people on the roster. There's always too many because we don't always get to see enough of the people we want to see. So to give him the fair opportunity, the fair chance to be a singles player in here, I just think that WWE needs to do it right. And if they don't, it's going to make him suffer and it won't be fulfilling for anybody. Right? Like,
Well, I mean, I feel right out the gate, he's got to start with a feud with Cesaro, right?
yeah, it would make sense because how do you just leave off where we don't close that chapter?
Yeah.
Right? It would actually be amazing if they could start that with that feud. Yeah. But I'd like to see it go in that direction and hopefully, you know, fans will catch on to it and like his character by himself. But it's hard when you're used to seeing two people.
Well, because he was
Fighting all the time
for
with each other.
years the single star, and that kind of got stale. And then he kind of rejuvenated his career with Cesaro.
Right.
And now trying to come back again as singles, we'll have to see. First off, we'll have to see whether or not he's coming as a face or heel.
Right.
And then how people are going to treat it if they feel that he should be elevated to the way that he once was as a single star. Miz interview in his house with Renee Young.
This was interesting.
I have so many questions from this segment. So,
What are your questions?
we'll break it down first. So, Miz being interviewed by Renee Young, and they're talking about, you know, why does it seem like that you're trying to, you know, stick up for and help Daniel Bryan? And he says, you know, I understand how valuable Daniel Bryan is to SmackDown. I don't like him, but I respect him. And, you know, things change over time. You know, now I'm a family guy. I have 2 little girls, and I want to make sure my girls are safe. And Renee asks Miz, are you scared to face Bray Wyatt? And before he could answer, we hear a scream, and Maurice is looking at an iPad of a monitor watching Monroe in her crib, pretty much being harassed by the puppets in the Firefly Funhouse. Then Bray shows up on the screen.
Or being, like, mind-controlled or manipulated by the puppets.
Yeah, something.
Something was going down in that crib.
They then race up the stairs to a room where Miz opens the door to let his wife go in first. When they think Bray Wyatt is in their daughter's bedroom, he goes, honey, after you.
That's weird.
Only to then go there, and it's their actual daughter with this creepy doll that may or may not have Daniel Bryan's hair from when he ripped out the previous week stuck on it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm
And-
sure that's what most people got from it, but that's
And
unbelievable.
this poor
Crazy.
toddler probably has no idea what's happening. Who are all these people with cameras? Why do mommy and daddy seem scared? What is this creepy doll?
No, I felt like she was saying, oh my goodness, why would mommy and daddy subject me to this doll in my crib?
That could be too.
I don't think the cameras are the least of her problems. It's the scary looking doll there when she's like at her, you know, forming ages.
But when you have a scary doll, you have the scary puppets, you have mom and dad acting scared, and then you have all these other people around. I am not a father. I cannot give anyone any type of parenting advice. I'm sure they did all the preparation in the world to be like, this is going to be pretend. We're going to pretend like this. Who knows how much. The baby's what, 2? Maybe? 2 years old? Something around those lines? How do we do this and not feel concerned for the child?
Yeah, I was like, I hope this doesn't scar her for life by doing this segment, because she definitely was scared, and they were obviously instigating it at that point where they're like, who did this? And they're making it so dramatic. And then the poor child's like, ah. You know?
And the scary man is in the room, and Miz lets his wife go in first.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What is all this?
The doll was the scariest part of all of this. I just can't believe that they stuck that in the crib with this poor child.
My only wish was, because then immediately flipped to a Firefly Funhouse, and Bray was holding the doll, and I just wanted, because of my improv mind, for a rule of three, I wanted Bray to say, "Miz, you are my Secret Santa, and this was the gift I got you." Because then we would have had the rule of three, the Secret Santa theme would have been completed on the show, but we didn't have that part.
Do you have to have a rule of three with Secret Santa, though?
No, I'm just saying, like, in improv and in comedy.
Oh, it's
if we're
just,
doing a funny
there is
thing,
a rule of three
they always classify a rule of three, because, like, once you hit that third beat, it was like, then it really sunk in. And it's like oh, I get the joke, I get the theme, exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was waiting, like, all of a sudden when Bray showed up with that, I'm like, is Bray the Secret Santa? Because then I don't hate this as much. But
I just thought of a light bulb moment.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that by Bray Wyatt encouraging Miz to not love or have love in his life is a segue to Miz becoming some dark character? Like changing his character up? Maybe losing it?
Well,
maybe Miz will be corrupted eventually by Bray Wyatt.
Well, that was the theme between the interview with Renee and Bray talking in the Firefly Funhouse, because he's like, Finn changed after I faced him, Seth changed after I faced him, Dan O'Brien changed after I faced him. Miz, who's to say you won't change after I face you?
Yeah, it's coming.
It could very well be coming. And Bray also mentioned that Marine 5 was fire, which I thought was hilarious. Heavy Machinery versus Nakamura and Cesaro. Another tag team match. And again, we talked about earlier where Shorty G and Ali just kind of randomly getting paired together. Nakamura and Cesaro. I know they're both being managed by Sami Zayn now, but Nakamura is a singles champion, and we're only seeing him in tag team matches.
Odd, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Right by Otis's hometown, so there were a lot of "We Want Otis" chants. Kinshasa and Tucker for the win for Nakamura and Cesaro. That's really all there is for that. The main event, as what we thought, Kofi versus Baron Corbin. Dolph Ziggler's thrown out of the match, but decides to start brawling with Big E. Ref calls for the bell. No contest. Big E orders, no, we want a tag team match. I'm keeping Teddy Long busy tonight. And somehow over the break, it was accepted. And then we had New Day versus Corbin and Ziggler. They take out handcuffs to cuff Kofi. Ref calls for the bell again. They're trying to do the same thing to Kofi as they did last week to Roman. Roman shows up, starts cleaning the house. Revival try to help out as well. But at the end, Roman throws Ziggler from the top of the ladder through an announce table as SmackDown goes off the air.
That was exciting, that last part, I will say.
It's just the whole theme of the night was, will Roman show up? Even though all the commercials were saying Roman Reigns is unchained this week.
Unchained.
We knew he was going to be there. There wasn't a surprise. Like, it could have been a surprise if all of a sudden he was under the ring the whole time. You know, or like he didn't just take out all the security guards one by one and then walk on in and clean house. But well, they were hyping it up, getting ready for TLC, which shortly, if you're watching live, you'll be able to see the TLC AfterBuzz show. Mm-hmm. But right before we get into Wrestling Wrap, I'm going to remind everybody again about the phone lines, because as soon as Wrestling Wrap is done, we're going to open up these phone lines for time permitting for you to tell us who you felt your SmackDown Wrestler of the Year is and Match or Moment of the Year. So again, that number is 424-354-8302, 424-354-8302. So on that note, we'll start getting ready for the phone lines, but let's get a little Wrestling Wrap action.
Yep, my favorite time of day. Wrestling Wrap for this week. Okay. So, first up, we're going to talk about WWE revealing a premiere date for Miz and Mrs. Season 2.
It's the official season 2, even though they had like 4 parts of season 1.
Yeah. It feels like it's been on the air forever.
Yeah, it was a very long season 1.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, it will debut on the USA Network after NXT at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, January 29th. It's official. The show was previously airing on after SmackDown on Tuesdays, but before it moved to Fox. So we saw season 1 premiere in July of 2018. So yes, it has been quite some time.
It's been a year and a half.
A year and a half.
For season 1.
It's unbelievable how much time has gone by. So official episode update on that. There was about 20 episodes and 3 different sets like you were talking about.
3 of them. Okay.
As one season. I don't understand the network doing that.
No,
I don't know what's the point.
I don't get it.
Like, did it just seem like, oh, they're doing so well, let's just keep filming. Who cares? We'll just keep filming and doing more content.
It probably was.
And then it was like, all right, we're done with this at some point. And then we'll just wait until we get renewed. But awesome for them. Maybe it also included more money. Who knows? Because I'm sure they probably only agreed to do like maybe 10 episodes and they doubled it. So that could be great. They just also recently welcomed the birth of their second daughter this September. So I think it should be a very exciting new season to kind of see that all play out. And hopefully we'll get a sneak peek of it. But tune in because it's going to be premiering January 29th, straight up in the new year.
There you go.
And we're also going to talk about the longtime WWE wrestler who recently passed away. He was also a road agent. His name is Rene Goulet, and he passed away at 86. So if you guys have been watching wrestling since you were wee little kids, and or your parents maybe even, would know this specific man, as he lived a long life.
Yeah.
86. I mean, you hit the jackpot there. Apparently his family kept the news quiet because he died in May, but they recently announced it, which is why it's now news.
Want a very random wrestling fact about Rene Goulet? He was the very first person to defeat Ric Flair.
Yep. And he also competed against Tito Santana in the very first WWF match that aired on USA.
There you go.
So that's another interesting fact. And then our third story of our wrestling wrap this week is that WWE announced that they suspended Robert Roode and Primo
Cologne.
You want to say it? Cologne. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to botch it. For their wellness policy violations. Now, the last time a wrestler in WWE apparently violated this wellness checkup was Paige. And that was back in 2016, October 2016.
It's been a while since we've had a wellness violation.
Yeah, and think about it. Robbie Roode is 42 years old, okay? And Cologne is 36. So what are these guys up to that they're not passing these wellness checkups? And we don't know what the reason was. It hasn't been announced as far as I see, unless you guys have any sources. But, I mean, who knows how long they'll be out at this point now.
Well, the first violation is 30 days.
But who knows if they'll continue to pass.
Well,
Paige was out for a while.
The tests are random.
Right, but it's a
Paige was also
30-day
injured
violation.
at the time.
But you have to recheck yourself before coming back.
I'm sure you have to pass something, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just 30-day suspension, come back without being rechecked, especially if it's drug related.
Sure.
You know? So we'll have to see what happens on that front. And then, because I can't end without a typical Kevin Owens story. Somebody did a really cool story on dailyddt.com. It's 3 reasons why Kevin Owens should win, I guess, in the Royal Rumble 2020 and have a win.
Sure, no, that could make sense for Owens to win it.
So
we're getting ready to hop into Rumble season.
Yeah, I think if you guys have some time, you should look up this article. It's written by Kevin Parvizzi. He recently posted it within the last 12 hours. And the title is WWE Royal Rumble 2020, 3 reasons why Kevin Owens should win. And that's dailyddt.com. Kevin Owens, I agree. You should win the Royal Rumble.
Really? You're picking him? Yeah. I would have had no idea.
Yeah, of course not.
All right, so.
But a surprise.
Gabby and I are going to talk about the top, in our opinion, top SmackDown superstars or match of moments of the year. But now the phone lines will also be open for you to call in if you want to tell us as well, with time permitting. Also, by the way, I want to take a quick second to mention, because I believe you are still as well, that you and I are both on Cameo, correct?
We are on Cameo.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, so, like little extra holiday gifts if you want to find Gabby or myself on Cameo. And I've decided as of today, actually, I slashed some prices for the rest of the holidays, guys. If you want me to wish something, if you want me to cut a promo on something, or if you want me to settle a debate between you or a friend or something, you can do a Cameo with me for only $5 from now until the end of the year.
That's awesome. I'll probably adjust my thing too. Do a little special. So if you guys want a personalized video, we will send it right your way.
But with that, the phone lines again are open, 424-354-8302. Gabby, no longer waiting. You tell me.
Favorite moments?
You want moment or superstar first? What would you prefer to go first?
Let's do moments and then superstar.
All right. Favorite moment.
Okay, so I have two.
Sure.
I have two that I picked out. So one of them was when Kevin Owens was feuding with Shane McMahon this year, and there was a whole lawsuit going on, and then if Kevin Owens lost, that he would lose his job and not be allowed on, it was SmackDown at the time, right? Yeah, so that whole thing was really fun for me. Okay. I really enjoyed it. And also when Daniel Bryan won the WWE Championship and he changed his title to some eco-friendly looking thing, and that we now know today as the
title.
wood. Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, exactly. 100% sustainable organic hemp. And with that being said, he also, I remember one of his very first feuds was with AJ Styles, and they took it all the way up to the concession stands at one of the arenas, and it was so fun. They were throwing hot dogs and mustard and ketchup everywhere. So that was also one of my favorite moments this year. What about you?
All right, so those are both great moments. I had two that also came to mind that were two different ones than that. Mm-hmm. One happened not that long ago, the night that NXT took over SmackDown.
Oh, yes. That was
good one. Such a memorable night from beginning to end, based on the circumstances with everything and how that show ended up playing out. Mm-hmm. That's an episode that they're going to be going back in the history books. And then the other big moment was Kofi's gauntlet. Mm-hmm. The gauntlet match where Kofi at the I think broke the record for longest televised WWE match by just outlasting everyone, and that was really where Kofi Mania began, and that's where it all exploded, and it was just so impressive. And watching all the storytelling between all the wrestlers that were involved in that, with Kofi and Xavier and Big E cheering him on with everything.
Yeah,
that was to me the number one moment of the year as a whole. For
that's awesome.
Not just SmackDown, in WWE. I think that gauntlet match, because it solidified Kofi's legendary status. And that was my thought with that. We got the phone lines open for a few more minutes. We want people to not be shy and call in. We gave you plenty of heads up about it. So with that,
wait, let me say one thing.
Go right ahead.
In the meantime, I'm just going to shout you guys out that are in the chat roll that are capable of calling in. So, Dan GMQ, I'm calling you out. Steelers Respect 90. We have Maria Nett. Who else is in here? Joseph Boza, of course, the real YT. You guys, come on. We see you all the time. I would love for you guys to join the conversation. We're opening up the phone lines. We don't do that very often.
End the year strong, people.
End the year strong, and let us end the year strong with you.
That's right.
Doesn't matter what you say. We just want to know, as long as it's positive. We just want to know your favorite moments.
Yeah. So with that, let's talk about SmackDown Superstars of the Year then, while we're waiting for someone to call in here. So I was trying to come up with a top three, but then I had a tie for third. So I guess I technically have four. My tie for third is between Daniel Bryan, who, for reasons that you already were talking about with your moment of the year, with him turning into the Planet's champion with the title. He really brought up Eric Rowan in their tag team after Mania, his feud with Kofi. Just great heel year for Daniel Bryan. And Bayley is my tie for third because of her drastic turn these last few months.
That's a really good point. You have great ones.
Second place goes to Becky. And she would have been first if she didn't switch over to Raw halfway through the year. Because, what she was doing as a SmackDown champion, then turned to Becky 2 belts and was bouncing from show to show. And, of course, main event in WrestleMania. And then number one, I talked about the SmackDown moment of the year. Number one has to be Kofi, hands down.
Yeah.
Superstar of the year is Kofi Kingston. No question about it.
So I'm not going to list too many, but one, I agree, Kofi Kingston had such a major year. I also loved his storyline with how he kind of rose up as an underdog, had all these years of experience in WWE, and never got his chance, never had his opportunity, but finally claimed it as his. And I think that was remarkable. So it was really interesting to watch him. Also, the New Day in general, all their milestones coming up with not only their, characters and their tag team, but they have this insanely successful gaming platform, Up, Down, Down. And on top of that, just launched a podcast. So, if anything,
it's hilarious. You have to listen to their podcast.
This is New Day's year. Forget about Wrestler of the Year. This is New Day's year. And on top of that, so, next in line, I would say Ali.
Sure.
I loved him. I think he really, really made a statement this year and got a lot of people behind him. We really got to see him excel in a lot of storylines. More towards, I would say, the last 6 months at least. But, yeah, it's been very interesting to watch him come up on the rise. And, of course, Kevin Owens, I think that he's been the staple the entire year, coming out of even just last year being successful, having these major storylines with upper management, different A-list wrestlers. And it's just been interesting watching him develop and change over time as well.
Yeah. No, and all of these are definitely deserving.
Yep.
Now with that, because we got a minute or two left, it appears that everyone in our live chat roll apparently feels too scared to call in. They're brave typing, but they don't want to call in, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
We opened this up.
People in the chat saying that it's past midnight and past 1 o'clock.
Then they shouldn't be.
That's not an excuse.
They shouldn't be awake in the chat roll then.
If you're awake right now and typing in the chat roll, there's no reason why you can't press some digits right now and just call in. Last time me and Josh did this, or Christian Rosenberg.
Who? No,
who should I refer to you as? Christian. So last time we did this, we did have 2 callers, and it was really fun.
It's fun when we get a few callers that come in. Sometimes it's everyone's always scared to be the first one, and I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah. But you guys are just people. Nobody's judging anybody. We just want to hear. It's like we're having a conversation on your couch.
Gabby's just a person. I'm kind of a big deal.
So we can leave the room then. I'll talk to them.
Yeah, if you need me to
You're too big for this.
If you need me to turn around when someone calls, I'll take the headset off.
Might have to do that.
But just a quick, bold prediction of, we're talking about Superstars of the Year 2019. Pick someone that would be a SmackDown Superstar for 2020.
SmackDown Superstar.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, this is putting me on the spot. We're going to be doing shake-ups, I'm sure, in the next few months, and things are going to...
Shake-up is usually sometime in, summer or fall.
Did you say summer or fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't they also move people around right around WrestleMania, too?
Not typically.
Or right after? No, they do.
And
we have a lot of NXT people come up, too.
Yeah, but now NXT is on USA, so they're not going to have a bunch of people move off that right now anytime soon.
I'm going to beg to differ. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think that Shayna Baszler will be moved to a main roster position.
Okay.
And have some pretty big storylines.
All right. And I'm going to say Ali. I'm going to say Ali's getting a title shot in 2020, and hopefully we see him as a champion. Well, that's going to do it for us. I'm sorry that no one decided to call in our chat room. We had a bunch of people hanging out in there. They didn't feel like calling, but they're probably, even though it's too late for them to call, they're still going to stick around and watch live for the TLC AfterBuzz.
Well, and also, you guys, since you heard our favorite moments, why don't you comment yours since you guys didn't call in?
Please do.
We would love to hear what you have to say. You can write it down below in the YouTube chat roll, or when you're rating us on iTunes with that 5-star rating, you can leave your thoughts and impressions.
And you can talk to us on various forms of social media. Gabby, how can people reach out to you besides Cameo?
Besides Cameo this holiday season, you guys can reach out to me on Twitter and Instagram at GabbyLorenTV. Tuesdays on Impact, I'll be there, and Sheehan on Thursdays. And happy holidays, you guys. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I think that's next in line, right, for holidays. Whatever you celebrate, right? Isn't Kwanzaa like the third holiday that happens?
Kwanzaa is a holiday. Yes.
Yeah, but isn't it around the same time?
Yes, it's around that time.
So why is that funny?
It was just, it sounded like when you said third, you sounded like you were trying to rank them.
No, I'm trying to be inclusive. So I hope you guys enjoy your holiday and your new year, and I hope it's just as amazing, if not better, than 2019.
All right, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Tariff. You can still get Christian Rosenberg t-shirts, ProSandTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Again, find me on Cameo for between now and the end of the year, $5 for any type of cameo you want. And for our other AfterBuzz TV news, guys, follow me on Twitter, AfterBuzz TV. Have a safe and happy holidays and New Year, everybody. For Gabby Loren, I'm Josh Tariff. We will see you in 2020.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.